Hi, buddy. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the miserable liberal at Ron Placone.
Hi.
And you
Hello.
know this, right? You know this picture. That's the famous picture from, that's what we did in Abu Ghraib. We went to bring freedom. And then we just ended up torturing people. So I don't know if you remember what one of the justifications George Bush used for going into Iraq with military force and killing people was because the way they treated their prisoners, that they had torture rooms and rape rooms, and we wanted to replace them with Christian torture rooms and Christian rape rooms, and again, that's one of those things that it's not hilarious. It is what
Tragilarious.
Tragilarious. It's tragic and hilarious. So, by the way, this guy exists. He's still alive. They did a video. Middle East News did a video on him, and here it is.
أول ما يدخل الشخص يربطون على باب الحديد مشبك، باب الزنزانة، يعني يستخدمون وياه عملية الصعق بالكهرباء والتبول عليه. وعملية الصعق بالكهرباء أيضا ما أنساها اللي مريت بيها، لأنه كنت أحس كأنما شرار يطلع من عيوني. هاي عصا المكنسة مكسورة، والكسور يعني من تنكسر عصا المكنسة إدخالها في مكان يعني حساس بالجسم يسبب أحيانا نزيف وتداخل جراحي. شوف الطفل يعني اغتصبوه أمام أبوه.
See, there's something about that Muslim religion, though, that makes you worse. Somehow Muslims are worse. Their religion makes them do worse things than rape children. Because that's the whole thing. You listen to Sam Harris, and he sounds just like Dick Cheney when they say, we're better than them. Their culture is a lower culture. We're a bigger culture. We're a higher culture. We're more evolved. They haven't gone through a reformation, all that stuff. Yet somehow here we are raping children, murdering people by the hundreds of thousands for money. And somehow we're still better than them. Isn't that, to me, that's very revealing of people who think that. Because they're exactly like the thing they claim to hate. They're tribalists who don't have clear thinking. And, anybody still afraid of Muslim terrorism, if you were anywhere else in the world, you would be afraid of the United States and our liberty bringing. Let's get back a little bit more of this.
أنا أعتقد أنه ما جرى بالعراق يعني كان أمر خاطئ جدا، وعرض يعني سحق نفسياتنا وأصابنا بأذى شديد. يعني أنا لحد الآن الحمام مالي ما أقدر أشوف بيه البانيو من أشوفه. أتذكر الإيهام بالغرق، لا زلت أعاني من كوابيس وأحلام ومعاناة نفسية وجسدية من ذيك التجربة وكأنها أمس.
Middle East Eye. Put that together. So, and now the good thing is that Barack Obama prosecuted all those people who did that, and so it'll never happen again. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't prosecute anybody. None of them. All Barack Obama did was say, we tortured some folks. We tortured some folks.
It's clear from the IG report that some very poor judgment was shown in terms of how that was handled. Keep in mind, though, that John Brennan was the person who called for the IG report. And he's already stood up a task force to make sure that lessons are learned and mistakes are resolved.
So now he's talking about the torture, and he's saying lessons are learned, and we can't learn any lessons from the torture report. Why can't we learn any lessons from the torture report? Because that guy sealed it, so no one can read it. So we can't learn what they did, how they did it, why and who. So we can't learn how to make sure it doesn't happen again. We can't learn how to prevent it. What are the warning signs? What we should do? Who stood up against it? How we could better make sure that this doesn't happen. We can't figure that out because neoliberal tool and buffoon of a president, Barack Obama, decided to abdicate his moral responsibility and lawful responsibility. It's not up to you whether you prosecute war crimes or not. You are legally compelled to. And if he didn't on purpose, that's a dereliction of duty. That's a sin of omission. And he didn't do it, and he didn't do it on purpose. So when you don't prosecute a crime, two reasons why you prosecute a crime. One, make sure you punish the person who did it. Two, deterrent. Make sure it doesn't happen again. So people are afraid to commit that crime because they see the punishment you gave that person. So when you don't prosecute a crime, that guarantees it will happen in the future because there's no punishment. You can keep doing it. Right now, the head of our goddamn CIA is a torturer. The head of our spy agency. So what he did was ensure it would keep happening and happen again in the future. That's what he did. Let's listen to what else he has to say.
To the larger point of the RDI report itself, even before I came into office, I was very clear that in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right.
Yeah, like what were those? He never says. We'll get a whole lot of things that were right. Really? Like stay in Afghanistan for 17 years, invade Iraq, kill hundreds of thousands of people innocently who were innocent, then go on and repeat that in Libya, then keep doing that in Syria, then start arming Al-Qaeda and ISIS in Syria? Are those the right things we did? Look at that face. That's a guy covering up torture and war crimes. That's what that looks like. What does Barack Obama look like when he's covering up torture and war? Nonplussed. Is that the right term, nonplussed, that I'm using? Let me hear him say it. Here it comes.
But we tortured some folks.
We tortured some folks. We tortured some folks. Some folks, we're all getting together as folks.
Come on in, folks. Now, this isn't going to be pleasant.
Come on, folks. I'm going to have to stick come on, folk. I'm going to put a stick of tube up your ass. Are you a teenage folk? You're a kid folk? We're going to rape you. And if then when they rape you, I also have a kill lift. We're going to kill some folk kids with a drone. I'm going to kill them. That's him. So he had a lot of responsibility, which he abdicated and didn't do, and he's making sure that more of that happens. He made sure that we'd have a torturer as the head of our CIA right now. Right now. Thanks, Obama. Remember when that used to be a thing? Hashtag thanks, Obama. People were blaming everything on Barack Obama. Turns out he's culpable for a lot of stuff. Turns out the reason why we have Donald Trump is because people got sick of his no results. People got sick of that guy not doing a goddamn thing, kicking 5.1 million families out of their homes. They got sick of that. Opening up the Arctic to drilling twice. They got sick of that. Letting paramilitary people blow the arms off of people. Water protectors up in Standing Rock. They got tired of that. They wanted to crash the system, and now we got Donald Trump, and he takes no responsibility. In fact, he'll go around the world and wag his finger at American voters for not voting, even though it's a work day when you're supposed to vote. And they didn't give him anything to vote for. Hey, why don't you guys come out and vote? Get punched by one hand. If you don't vote, you're going to get punched by two hands. Anything on this?
Well, again, and for the Obama thing, it's like that age-old saying, when you're neutral, when you don't do anything about torture, when you let both sides play out a dapple, when you're neutral, you're siding with the oppressor.
Yes.
And the other thing, you see this video that is like very moving and was at times even painful to watch, not Obama, but
right.
Meanwhile, CNN has another report on George W. Bush's dance moves.
George Bush's dance moves. Look. Watch former President George W. Bush bust a move on the dance floor.
With some folks.
With some folks that were tortured. He's for every he does a moonwalk for every Iraqi casualty. Yeah, so when he's dancing on the floor, he does what they call the George W. Bush. What that is he'll go up to a couple who are minding their own business and dancing and then just invade them in the middle. And he'll just split them in two. So that's the consequence of having Barack Obama abdicate his responsibilities. People came in, when he came into office, people wanted to see banks split up and bankers thrown in jail. They wanted to see Bush war criminals prosecuted and thrown in jail. They wanted to see an economic plan, a New Deal that actually helped people. And guess what we saw? None of that. They wanted to see police reform. We didn't see nothing. We didn't see a drawing down to we wanted to get out of the Middle East, wanted to get out of those wars. He put us in 5 more wars. Barack Obama. And here they are. So that's what that leads to. And now, guess what? And now, guess who's the new Secretary of State? Mike Pompeo is a radical ideologue who embraced the use of torture. So now he gets to be the Secretary of State who embraces torture because Barack Obama didn't put anybody in jail who ordered and carried out torture. So now we have a whole government full of torturers. And I remember people saying when they were expanding the surveillance state, getting rid of habeas corpus, Barack Obama and the Democrats were doing that. People said, yeah, you're okay with it now, taking away people's rights because Barack Obama's president, but who's going to know what the next guy, what if the next guy's a maniac? So Barack Obama expanded the surveillance state, took away habeas corpus, gave the CIA the ability to do propaganda on our own citizens, and then handed it off to Pompeo and Trump. That's what Barack Obama did. But still, it's the voters' fault, I bet. I bet it's still I think we should do more voter shaming. And by the way, and now people have to beg Democrats to stand up against their nomination. People have to beg Democrats. I think this is from Move On. They put this out. Yeah, this is from Move On.
Jimmy, I just want to add, when initially those photos came out about Abu Ghraib, and I was teaching high school at the time, and I remember, people were just scandalized that these photos were out there and kids were seeing these photos, but there was never a conversation about what those photos meant about our democracy and our loss of humanity, and never did we have a conversation about peace.
Never.
They don't talk about Iraq on campuses. They don't talk about Afghanistan. I'm sure they don't even talk about, there's probably no curriculum even on college campuses that are highlighting or examining these real issues right now. Or do you have to just happen to be a history major that you're in these courses? Here are things that are destroying our country and destroying lives of other people. And there's limited conversation about it.
Almost none, Steph. In fact, not only are they not talking about it, they're doing this.
Yeah, and if I hear one more person say to me how much I miss George Bush,
I know.
It makes me want to spit, because why we're where we are is because of him.
Yes.
And his regime.
And the Democrats who went along with them and then didn't stand up as opposition to him when they should have in the Iraq War and prosecuting torture. They didn't do it. They didn't stand up to him. And so, they went along with him. And now Barack Obama just went over and put a blanket over the whole thing. Nobody can open up these torture reports. What an asshole. This is a fact. Barack Obama's just a fucking asshole when it comes to this stuff. He's as bad as anybody, but he does it in such a nice way. He says, "Folks." He says, "Folks." We broke off some broomsticks and shoved it up some kid's ass, some folks' ass. We did a lot of things right, though. So that's what it leads to. Barack Obama not prosecuting torture leads to this. And Democrats begging, and we have to beg Democrats to oppose it, and they're not going to.
Well, yeah, we're seeing history repeat itself in real time. Now we have a new group of torturers who has never met a conflict with another country they didn't like.
Right.
And now they're in charge, and everyone's going along.
Yeah, and everyone's still pretending that the problem is just Donald Trump and not this war machine that has captured both political parties.
And we're still pretending that taking a knee is something awful
is
to
offensive.
do.
Taking a knee is offensive. Taking a knee is offensive. Okay. June 30th, we're going to be in Portland. I hope you can come see our show. There's a link for tickets right there. Also, please make sure you subscribe. Even though you think you are, you're probably not. It only takes a second to check and make sure you subscribe and then ring that bell. Because if you ring that bell, they will send you a notification when we drop a video. That's what they say. They're probably lying. But we have to do everything we can to try to fight back against the bastards. The bastards being, the people trying to throttle us. So that's a great way to do it. Make sure you subscribe, click that bell, and if you become a patron, we give you hours of bonus material every week. Come see our live show, June 30th in Portland. Thanks for your support.
Steam it.
Oh, guess what? If you know what Steam It is, we're steaming it right now.